People sometimes ask me how I do things like this. There's no short explanation. It's a crazy system. It's really, really vast and complicated. Sometimes even I forget how it works. Over on my Patreon, I do tutorial content. You can come and learn exactly how I do this stuff. I'll see you there. Drifter303 asks, can you give me a short explanation of how all the iPads work and what they do? No, there's no short explanation of what the iPads do. There's no way to do that. But I'm gonna try. Time starts now. Okay, 5 minutes to explain. This is the Beardytron. It's 5 iPads that control Ableton. The one on the top left controls the drum channels and the synthesizer that samples my voice. The one on the bottom left controls melodic stuff that I've put in also with my voice. The middle one at the top controls input effects. So anything I want to do to my voice is controlled from there. The one below it is a kind of new 5th experimental iPad. Not even going to go into that. The one on the top right is for controlling everything else, the macro stuff. So let's get into it. This is the top left iPad. As you can see, there are 1 looper, 2 looper, 3 loopers, and then a bunch of other buttons. The looper here is for kick drums and other such things. Maybe I'll put whole drum loops in there. This one is for snares. I'll put whole snarey kind of stuff in there. There's no bass on that one. This has even less bass. That's for hi-hats. These little knobs here control the effects, and the kick drum has its own effects. The snare has its own effects. The hi-hat has its own effects. These are effects which get applied to the whole drum bus. This controls the synthesizer that I mentioned. There's probably no further time to go into any more detail on that. Moving on. This is iPad number 2. iPad number 2 is using something called Touch OSC rather than Lima, which the other one was. There's more information on this on my Patreon if you want to, tangent alert, keep going. These buttons here are the preset selectors. They are little 8-way selectors that I made. They are selecting the presets. They change the states of all these other buttons. All these other buttons control manipulator, tornado, Ableton built-in stuff. This red line here represents a demarcation between this stuff that does work and this stuff which I am building and in the process of instantiating. Must move on, got to complete this. 3 minutes 10, we're doing okay. This is iPad 3. This is the bass looper, and here are the effects for the bass looper. This is the melody looper. Here are the effects for the melody looper. Here is the pads looper. Here are the effects for the pads looper. This one is a bit different to the others. The bass looper has the option to have A, B, C, and D mutually exclusive loops. All of that's handled in Ableton. This is the effects for the whole of the melodic bus. This is a chopper to chop the sound. These are effects which are tied to Tornado, which is a plugin which controls all of the effects within my rig pretty much. That's probably too much detail. Tangent alert, moving on. This is the last iPad. We've got 2 minutes 24. Do you know what? I'm doing all right, actually. I'm only halfway through. This is the last iPad, essentially, in the chain, or the iPads don't process any audio. All they do is control Ableton. But what this one does, the reason why I think of it as being last in the chain is because it controls stuff that is last in the chain in terms of audio. This is a bunch of knobs that control another instance of Tornado, which is on the master bus. So everything goes through these. This is other master stuff. This is a send, delay, send. That's all the feedback, high pass, echo time for that. This is another delay. These are these really cool buttons that do loads of stuff. And if you look at my Ableton rig, you can see down the right-hand side of this, this is what they control. These are presets, and they control masses of automation, so that if I want to do like a sick drum and bass drop, then I can, but just by pressing one button. But they don't actually trigger any sounds. All it's doing is triggering automations in every one of those channels I've just mentioned. So if I want to do a sick drop, so long as there is sound that's appropriate for each channel in there, it will probably make the correct sounding thing. What else do I have to explain? There is this one, which is my brand new experimental iPad. If you want to know how I'm progressing this rig, again, go to my Patreon to find out. There's tons of tutorials that I have made, and more that I'm going to make about the transitions that I'm making to this brand new Loopy Pro focused thing, which is going to be the heart of the loop. At the moment, I use something called Augustus loop, 56 seconds left. I'm not talking about Augustus loop right now. That's a video for another day. 50 seconds left. This is a iPad using Touch OSC, which I'll do another video about another time, controlling Supermodal, which is another plugin that does this amazing bunch of effects, which I'm going to try and struggle to explain without saying it's like frequency manipulation stuff in the time domain. This is Tornado. This is Filter, which uses a kilohertz plugin. This is Valhalla instances. There's no time to explain what that means. There's a Euclidean sequencer. It's 19 seconds. Oh God, I think I just need to wrap this up and say thank you for watching. If you want to know more, go to my Patreon. The link is below. I'll explain what all of that meant. If none of this mattered to you, why are you even still here? But I love you, and be kind to each other. And I'll see you later. Okay, goodbye. Yeah, great.
That was intense.
I don't know if anyone will want to watch that content. It's just too stressful.